All right, Derby fans in attendance and joining us on the live stream, welcome back to Ability 360. We're continuing on with Monsoon Madness. It is time for our next bout. This is a sanctioned bout between Arizona and Tampa's A squads. We'll begin with the skaters for Tampa. Number 021, Rehab Reject. Number 090, Moulin Rude. Number 103, Crush Groove. Number 18, Slamwich. Number 2, PH Diesel. Number 357, Felony Fat Bottom. Number 41, Amber Lou. Number 424, Zombie. Number 5, Tootsie Pop. Number 50, Rojo Grande. Number 620, Stella Knockout. Number 66, Sugar and Spice. Number 81, D-Ride. Number 83, Break Some Bones. Number 9, Wasokyu. And number 92, Trip McNeely. On the bench for Tampa, Despicable D, Really Smalls, Just in Time, and Lunch Lady.
And for Arizona, we have 008, Ham Weezy. Number 01, Chelsea Winkle. Number 10, Frida. Number 12, Kapulani Kawapuki. Number 122, Castrator. Number 17, Don't Blink. Number 175, Chokia Latte. Number 1803, I'm a Blobaya. Number 21, RC Autobot. Number 313, West Coast Mafia. Number 317, Block and Decker. Number 394, Helga Hufflepunk. Number 5000, Stashbot. Number 56, D's Nuts. Number 618, Sherman. Number 7, Rocky Bonobo. Number 79, Kalaka. Number 9, Jess West. And number 924, Loose Chaos.
The officials for this game are Harley Quinn Davidson, PK Biddy, Eric Rock, Ellie Mintle, Honey Badger, Carmen Dragon, Wifo, Keshi, Fickle Bitch, Wreck-It Ray, Uberlicious, Korean Jesus, Elder Horman, Cat Scratch Beaver, Lick Scarmaker, Smacky Kennedy, and Teets.
So we are ready to get underway here very shortly. Countdown clock approaching 0. Once again, these teams, the A squads, Phoenix is Arizona ranked number 22 in the world in the WIFTDA rankings. Tampa currently ranked number 42, the Tampa Tantrums, in the WIFTDA rankings. And again, this is a sanctioned bout, so every point, every penalty, everything goes into determining standings around the globe. So a lot on the line here for both teams as we line up for the first jam. Jamming for Arizona is going to be Castrator. Your jammer for Dallas is PH Diesel. Excuse me, Tampa is PH Diesel. My apologies. Castrator's your lead jammer for Arizona. Out of the pack now, catching up to the pack as those blockers fold back in, picking up 4 points and calling off the jam.
And jamming for Arizona is West Coast Mafia.
West Coast Mafia lead jammer for Arizona, now catching up to the pack.
And Tampa jammer just getting stuck behind that defense.
Action's kind of ground to a halt here in the first turn. Both jammers hung in behind.
Both packs really have some defense, but an offensive hit gets West Coast Mafia out again.
West Coast Mafia finishing the scoring pass for Arizona. Taking over as jammer for Tampa is going to be number 18, Slamwich. Slamwich fresh off of a very successful bout with the Tampa B squad. Now catching up to the pack, and the jam is called off before Slamwich can put any points on the board.
And Lose Chaos out for Arizona with against Crush Groove from Tampa.
Lose Chaos quickly down to the inside and has taken lead jammer again for Arizona. Arizona so far has the only points on the board. They've had lead jam each time so far. Lose Chaos battling through the middle of the pack and able to fight through those last couple of Tampa blockers to complete a scoring pass and coming around for some more.
And Crush Groove takes off the star, so it's going to be a 2-minute jam.
Lose Chaos into the front straightaway. Had a block there from their pivot, Rojo Grande, who is waiting to possibly take the star with the star pass, and does so. Rojo Grande taking over as jammer for Tampa. Lose Chaos through the pack, keeping an eye on the action. And Lose Chaos now back up to the pack. Knocked back over backwards, but able to keep her balance and back up on her feet as Rojo Grande trying to finish off the scoring pass. Lose Chaos clinging to that inside. That's a crowd pleaser. Skating along on about half of one wheel down the back straightaway. And now Lose Chaos knocked to the ground in the middle of the scrum there as the 2-minute long jam proceeds. Lose Chaos. Gets through the pack. We're down to single digits left on the jam clock here as Lose Chaos trying to put a few more points on the board for Arizona before the jam clock expires, and completes the scoring pass as the clock blows up. So a full 2-minute jam and a large contingent of points up on the board for Arizona. We had 6 scoring passes for Lose Chaos there for a total of 24 points for Arizona on the jam.
And we've got StashBot 5000 out there for Arizona.
StashBot recycled to the back of the pack by the defense for Tampa.
And Tampa jammer is Felony Fat Bottom out there. Getting
Felony Fat
recycled.
Bottom. Felony Fat Bottom recycled to the apex of the far turn. StashBot 5000 has not broken free at the front of the pack yet, so this is really the first time the Arizona jammer has faced significant adversity so far in this bout. And Felony Fat Bottom emerging from the pack. Felony Fat Bottom is lead jammer for Dallas. StashBot 5000 had not gotten out of the pack either, so Felony Fat Bottom now with the advantage for the first time in the bout for Tampa. Tries to spin in front of a couple of jammers and calls off the jam while rolling backwards down the front stretch. So Tampa on the board for the first time here. 4 points up on the board for Tampa.
We've got Castrator up against PH Diesel, and Castrator is out for lead.
We heard several whistles there in succession. We've got 2 skaters for Dallas in the penalty box, one of them coming out in about 10 seconds. That's going to do it for the jam, though. Castrator finishing off a scoring pass and calls it off, to the delight of the hometown crowd here at the Ability 360 Jam. $39-4 is the score at the moment. Quick score check, Arizona in front. At the jammer line for Arizona, that's West Coast Mafia.
And Slamwich for Tampa is still stuck behind that Arizona defense wall.
West Coast Mafia able to quickly get out of the pack that time.
Just cruising on through. It looks like a star pass to Zombie.
So Zombie taking over as jammer for Tampa. Zombie, another skater who had a very successful bout right here on this very track a few minutes ago with the Tampa B squad. West Coast Mafia now catching up to the pack as Zombie fighting her way through.
And West Coast makes it around again. Meanwhile, Zombie's still stuck behind that pack.
Looks like at the front end of the pack, it looks like Zombie is finished off. A scoring pass, was in the process of finishing off that scoring pass. So 4 more points up on the board for Dallas. 8 points for Zombie there. All told in the entire jam. Jamming for Arizona, that's Lose Chaos. And your Dallas jammer is going to be number 103.
Crush Groove.
That's Crush Groove. Lose Chaos quickly through the pack. The lead jammer for Arizona, Crush Groove, out of the pack as well. And Crush Groove was going to try to force the issue here. Lose Chaos finishes a scoring pass. Crush Groove through the pack as well.
It looks like Arizona's been running these packs a little bit longer.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it looks like Arizona's strategy has really already shifted into trying to burn some more time off the clock. Strategy being, rather than just getting 4 points and calling the jam, if you get 8 and they get 4, it's a net of 4, and you burn another minute off the clock. So, and that's exactly the case there. So Arizona trying to maintain the lead. We saw a lot of these skaters for Tampa, a lot of these jammers for Tampa, Crush Groove, Zombie, Slamwich especially, just skated with the Tampa B squad and are now back out there doing it again, skating for the Tampa A squad here in the sanctioned bout.
And Stashbot 5000 gets out as lead for Arizona.
Felony Fat Bottom is jamming for Dallas, number 357. And Stashbot falling to her knees and signaling for the end of the jam like a hair metal band going for the high note in a power ballad, which is to say demonstratively. $63-16, your score right now, Arizona in front. Looks like West Coast Mafia on the jammer line for Arizona. That's not Arizona. That is West Coast. No, that's not West Coast Mafia. That's Castrator. As often as I've seen both of these teams wear white and black, you'll have to forgive me at this point of the tournament. Breaking through at the front end for Dallas and taking lead jammer. That is the Tampa Jammer, sorry. The Tampa Jammer, PH Diesel, out the front end of the pack. I am a terrible announcer. Quickly catching up is Castrator and sneaking by along the inside. And that'll do it for the jam. PH Diesel signaling to call it off. Stepping up to the jammer line for Dallas is going to be Slamwich.
And it's West Coast Mafia for Arizona. And West Coast is out for lead jam.
Trying to battle their way past those blockers at the front end of the pack. Chocolate, Block, and Decker holding her in. That looks like, didn't quite catch who that was there. However, going to be a power jam now for Tampa. Penalty called on the Arizona Jammer, so they are sent around along with the pivot. So 2 Arizona skaters in the penalty box now for the next 25 or so seconds. Slamwich going to try to get some production done here for Tampa in the meantime. And as mentioned, Slamwich fresh off a very good game for the B squad. So plenty warmed up. Looks like we're under 10 seconds on the Tampa Power Jam. Slamwich trying to get it finished here while her blockers can give her the most help. However, the defense forces Slamwich off onto the infield, and she's recycled back to the beginning of the back straightaway. In the meantime, West Coast Mafia rejoins the action along with Chocolate for Arizona. With 36 seconds left on the jam clock, West Coast Mafia now trying to fight her way through that 3-wall of Tampa blockers at the front end of the pack.
And Arizona doing a great job at recycling, but Slamwich just gets past that defense.
So Slamwich battling her way through the pack, and you can see visibly exhausted coming around the far turn now. Getting through on another scoring pass, trying to pick up a few more points here before the clock expires. And wait and find out what the score was on that. Next jam underway. Score right now 71-26. Arizona in front with about 14 minutes left until halftime.
We've got Loose Chaos out as no pass, no penalty, so Tampa can still get lead on this.
Loose Chaos trying to cling to the inside of the track there, and a giant groan goes up from the crowd as Loose Chaos recycles and then gets a cut track penalty for her trouble. Oh, Loose Chaos quickly over to the penalty box to serve a 30-second penalty for Arizona. Power jam opportunity for Tampa.
And Tampa is just swarming the Arizona defense to try and get the jammer out. And they are lead Crush Groove.
Now Crush Groove on a scoring pass has caught up to the pack. Gets some help from her pivot trying to clear things away, and Crush Groove signals to go ahead and call off the jam, being kind of hopelessly hemmed in there behind the defense. So that's going to allow Tampa to start with a power start here in the next jam. You can see the jammer over there calling out some instructions to her team. They're getting their strategy ready for this power start. They're going to get less than 10 seconds of a power jam here.
So it's Felony Fat Bottom out.
Felony Fat Bottom trying to hang on to
And
the
they are
outside
lead.
boundary. Felony Fat Bottom now trying to finish off a scoring pass. Loose Chaos out there for Arizona after exiting the penalty box, and Felony Fat Bottom calls off the jam. Spinning off into the infield after being routed there by the defense.
Gets a total of 2 points on that.
A brief conference by the officials down in the corner. Now everybody's back up. You can see those horizontally striped Arizona helmets kind of getting together and forming a three wall in front of the jammer for Tampa. Meanwhile, out the front end of the pack, there goes Stashbot 5000. Stashbot is your lead jammer for Arizona.
And Stash through for 4 points. PH Diesel just gets out of that pack.
So PH Diesel now trying to force the issue Stashbot up onto the track. When you hear that sound in the arena, that's not a flock of crows taking off. That's everybody saying call all at the same time. Stashbot calling the jam.
And it looks like we have a timeout for Tampa. But
All
it
right.
could be Arizona.
Tampa taking the team timeout, so we'll go ahead and take a brief break in the action here. To be quite frank, at this point in the contest, like, we have hit the sponsor so many times that we're not that worried. All right, that team timeout is over, so we get back to the action. It's going to be Felony Fat Bottom, number 357, Magnum, jamming for Tampa. It's, according to the crowd, it's somebody's birthday, so happy birthday, somebody. Battling her way to the front of the pack is Castrator for Arizona, and Castrator is your lead jammer. Felony Fat Bottom now able to get out of the pack on the front end, as Castrator now catching up and looping around the outside, calling off the jam after picking up another round of points.
We've got West Coast Mafia jamming for Arizona against Slamwich for Tampa. Both jammers working to get through that pack. And Tampa is out for lead. And getting recycled by Choke Your Latte. West Coast Mafia out, and Tampa calls it.
Back to the action here. Both jammers now trying to make their way to the front. Tiptoeing along the inside. Loose Chaos for Arizona. Loose Chaos, your lead jammer.
And Crush Groove just getting stuck behind that Arizona defense. Meanwhile, Loose Chaos coming up to start scoring points. Both jammers getting recycled back.
Way back, all the way back down the front straightaway for Loose Chaos. So starting over from the very, very back of the pack.
And it looks like there's some offense trying to be had on Tampa right now.
Sudden flurry of action there. Loose Chaos able to emerge out the front of the pack and outrun that last blocker to the 20-foot line. Loose Chaos again.
Just slices through that pack like butter. Meanwhile, Crush Groove hasn't moved through. It looks like it might be a star pass.
We are...
To Zombie.
And
Zombie trying to get through that wall.
And there, emerging out the front of the pack with the star on is Zombie indeed. Star pass achieved, and Loose Chaos calls off the rest of the jam. Next jam underway. Arizona has eclipsed the century mark here as we approach 5 minutes to go until halftime. Arizona at 103 points now with Tampa at 29. Tampa lead jam though here.
And it is a power jam. Stashbot 5000 is in the penalty box.
So we've got Stashbot and an Arizona blocker parked in the penalty box, now being joined by a blocker from Tampa as the Arizona blocker up with 10 seconds left on her penalty, that is. So we've got PH Diesel out there jamming for Tampa. He's completed one scoring pass and now looking for some more. Arizona back to full strength. That's going to put an end to the power jam. And Stashbot manages to get back up on the track, kind of work her way around those last couple of blockers for Tampa, and is now an active scorer, and therefore the jam is called by Tampa's jammer.
Fun fact, Loose Chaos has scored 48 points out of the 103 that Arizona has right now, with 4 minutes and 52 seconds left in the clock.
Jammer for Arizona is Castrator. And racing around the outside is your jammer for Tampa. That is going to be Felony Fat Bottom. Reportedly, it's Felony Fat Bottom's birthday, so I hear. Felony Fat Bottom out there, lead jammer for Tampa. And Felony Fat Bottom, a nice little piece of an apex jump there, jumping along over the inside boundary of the track. Finishing off the scoring pass and calling the jam. So the score right now, 103-41, with less than 2 minutes to go until halftime. And spinning along the inside, quickly to the front of the pack, that's West Coast Mafia, number 313.
And Tampa has taken off the star, but still trying to work through that defensive wall. I believe it's number 620, Stella Knockout.
And West Coast Mafia making her way through the turn on a scoring pass. Solid block for number 41 for Tampa there, but West Coast Mafia had the advantage. That's physics, kids. West Coast Mafia wins that fight. Now on the way around and is trying to battle through the defense of Tampa at the back of the pack. While meanwhile, there we do have Stella Knockout, not Scarlet Knockout, Stella Knockout.
And West Coast calls off that jam.
Next jam is underway. Jammer for Arizona was trying to sneak by along the inside. That's Loose Chaos. Skids to a stop, banks back out on the track, trying to just plow her way through. Meanwhile, along the inside, that's going to be your Tampa Jammer. That's Slamwich. Loose Chaos now trying to outrun that pivot and able to do so. Gets to the corner. And that's going to do it for the jam. Slamwich calling it off.
And Tampa's going to start off a little short. They've got one blocker in the box for this next jam.
So it looks like we've got word from the Stats Bureau. Well, before we get to that, we are going to have, I believe that was the signal for an official challenge, I think I caught.
Whistles galore.
Indeed, it's going to be an official challenge. So, the team wearing white, which is Tampa. It's been a long tournament. Tampa has requested an official review, so that is going to take place right now. We will wait for the referees to discuss that, and then we'll get the report from the infield from our head referee. And we'll be back with you momentarily. Back to the action anyhow. We would like to remind you, of course, we do have, what's the current food truck option outside?
I believe it's Burgers Amore outside.
All right, so we have a burger option outside, and again, our food trucks all have vegan options. If you don't see one on their menu, ask. There should be one available for you if you're looking for vegan or other dietary restrictions. That's available outside during halftime. Don't forget, if you are just joining us, and if so, how? But if you're just joining us, no smoking inside here at Ability 360 and no vaping. In addition, no perfumes, no sprays, no colognes. So if you really want to release that whole can of Axe into the air, go ahead and do so, but you have to do so in the smoking area. The smoking area is on the second floor of the parking garage. Smoking, vaping, perfume spraying, etc. Second floor of the parking garage. We love our hosts here at Ability 360, and we love to observe their rules. Okay, so successful review for Tampa, and as you heard, they do retain their review. So, team gets one review per half, and they only lose that review if it's unsuccessful. So, proceeding on, point off the board for Arizona, as you heard explained there by head referee. Didn't get the name of the head referee. We'll give him some love in a second as the next jam is underway.
Stashbot 5000 is jammer for Arizona. It looks like she's out for lead. And I believe it's up against Crush Groove. And Stash just cuts through that wall. Tampa working to get their jammer out right now.
Taking a look at the clock, 20 seconds to go until halftime on the period clock. Jam clock has a minute 15 left. So this may take us up to this will definitely take us up to the halftime break one way or the other. Stashbot recycled to the very back of the pack, back up on the track behind that pivot for Tampa. And Stashbot completing a scoring pass. Meanwhile, at the front end of the pack, there goes Crush Groove. So Crush Groove going to try to put a cap on the scoring here. Stashbot tiptoeing along. So that is going to take us up to the halftime break. We will wait for all the points to get up on the board and wait for that rolling whistle to tell us that the score is official. But that is going to take us up to the halftime break, so we'll step aside for 10 minutes. And we'll be back with you in slightly less than 10 minutes at this point. Looks like as we head into halftime, we're looking at a score of 123 to 43. Arizona in front.
And we're winding down halftime. For Arizona, the top scorers for this game are Loose Chaos 48, West Coast 31, and on the Tampa side, it's going to be PH Diesel with 14 and Felony Fat Bottom and Slamwich are tied with 10.
About 15 seconds left on the countdown clock here to the second half. We appreciate those stat updates. Our statistics department, Lisa Frankenstein. So, and also out of the first half percentages, Arizona took lead jammer only 12 out of 21 times. Tampa had lead jam 8 out of 21 times. So Arizona still able to be very successful despite getting lead jam just slightly more than half the time. Castrator out there now, your lead jammer for Arizona.
And it's a star pass for Tampa, but Castrator coming up right in front of them.
Taking over as jammer for Tampa is number 50, Rojo Grande. Quickly up into the pack and tiptoeing along the inside, Castrator. Typically the Arizona jammer who starts halves for the group. Now catching up to the pack again, Rojo Grande trying to play some jammer defense on the back end of the pack. Rojo Grande now trying to find an opening along the inside, but that door is closed rapidly by Block and Decker. Castrator doing one-on-one battle at the front end of the pack with those last couple of Tampa blockers and able to finish off the scoring pass. Rojo Grande through the pack as well. And after finishing off another scoring pass and finishing with a net advantage, Castrator calls off the jam for Arizona. Stepping up to the jammer line now is going to be West Coast Mafia for Arizona. And the jammer for Dallas is Tampa. Sorry. Jammer for Tampa is PH Diesel.
West Coast is out for lead jammer.
You just watch. In the next bout, which is Dallas, I'm going to call them Tampa the whole bout, I'm sure. At the front end of the pack right now, that Tampa jammer, PH Diesel, just gets those blockers pushed to the 20-foot line, and Chocolate has to let her go. But only because the rules said so. West Coast Mafia finishing off a scoring pass and calls off the jam.
And we'll have Loose Chaos skate against Slamwich for this next jam.
Loose Chaos quickly up to the front of the pack, trying to find her way through the defense, tiptoes along the outside, and is your lead jammer for Arizona. And now after briefly stashing the star, Slamwich is out of the pack for Tampa. So Loose Chaos calls off the jam. Setting up the jam for Arizona for the first time here in this particular bout is number 618, Sherman. But the Tampa Jammer quickly to the front of the pack and is your lead jammer. That Tampa Jammer is Felony Fat Bottom. Oh, my apologies. The jammer for Arizona is Stashbot. There we are. Stashbot now out of the pack for Arizona as well.
We've got Castrator up against PH Diesel.
Castrator for Arizona, quickly up to the front of the pack and around those blockers. Lead jammer for Arizona. PH Diesel is hemmed in behind some Arizona blockers.
Castrator makes it look easy to just get through that pack.
Arizona has Jess West sent to the penalty box. And getting around those blockers is PH Diesel for Tampa. Castrator finishes the scoring pass and calls off the jam.
We've got Slamwich coming up against West Coast Mafia. And so it begins. Both jammers just really working through those packs. And West Coast getting recycled back. Actually, both jammers getting recycled back. And West Coast is lead jammer for Arizona. And it looks like it's a star pass to number 83, Break Some Bones. And that jam is called off.
So we start this next jam with 3 blockers in the penalty box for Tampa. Sugar and Spice number 66 just completing the triumvirate over there. So Tampa starting at a serious skater disadvantage in the pack here. Jamming for Arizona is going to be Loose Chaos. Tries to go along the inside, but runs out of real estate. Now Loose Chaos now finds the opening she was looking for and is able to emerge from the pack. Getting right out of the pack right behind her, though, is Felony Fat Bottom for Tampa. He's going to try to force the issue. Loose Chaos rapidly through the pack, picks up those 4 points and calls it off.
And because of that quick call off, they still have 2 blockers in the box from Tampa, so it'll still be an advantage for Arizona. We're going to have Crush Groove up against Castrator. And Castrator out like a gazelle. And easily able to get through there just because of Tampa's blockers in the box. Looks like they're trying to pass the star on Tampa's side. Tampa's pivot does have that. It looks like it's break some bones trying to get through that pack. Castrator now up against a four-wall defense. But Arizona playing some offense right now. And Castrator calls off that jam.
So the action proceeding apace. Arizona has been in control throughout this bout. Setting up the jam for Tampa is going to be Slamwich. And your jammer for Arizona is going to be West Coast Mafia. Arizona back to full strength, gaining Don't Blink from the penalty box. Stash Bot sent off, though. Stash Bot sent to the penalty box. So now a power jam for Tampa. Power jam opportunity here for the next 30 seconds. Slamwich trying to get through. Tampa cheering section gets up and gets cheering for their squad. Slamwich still trying to find her way through. That Arizona defense has been impenetrable. And the power jam expires. West Coast Mafia back on the track for Arizona. And Slamwich finally out of the pack, and Slamwich's lead jammer. Took almost a minute and 15 seconds, but we have a lead jammer in this jam. And Slamwich now catching up, trying to get some points on the board before calling it. And Slamwich calling off the jam. And we are going to have a team timeout. Team timeout called by Dallas. So we'll take a brief break from the action. Tampa, thank you. My stats department keeping us honest up here. That is still Tampa. It is still not Dallas. It is still Tampa wearing the white jerseys. And as I mentioned, a brief break in the action here for a team timeout for Tampa. Back to the game action. We have Lose Chaos out there for Arizona. Jammer for Dallas trying to battle through to the front. Lose Chaos gets there first, though. And is the jammer for Arizona. Now the Dallas jammer trying to tiptoe along the outside, but runs out of real estate.
And Felony Fat Bottom just stuck behind that Arizona wall, looking for O. Loose Chaos is recycled. And gets past that 3-wall.
Loose Chaos calling off the jam for Arizona, so we'll set up for the next jam here.
And Stoshbot is out, or actually, nope, forearm.
So Stashbot sent over to the penalty box for Arizona, picks up the cut track penalty. Leads to a power jam for Tampa, and that's going to be PH Diesel doing the honors. PH Diesel finishing off a scoring pass for Tampa.
Arizona defense recycling the jammer back, but Stashbot gets through in the interim.
So Stashbot out of the pack now and an active scorer. PH Diesel calls off the jam.
Castrator is out for lead jammer for Arizona, but Tampa is swarming that defense to try and get their jammer out. Both jammers working really hard to get past those walls, and both jammers are out. Looks like Stella Knockout is actually out as jammer for Tampa at the moment. They took that star pass. They're trying to work through that wall right now. And Castrator is called on a cut, so they'll be sent to the box. Tampa working to try and play some offense for their jammer. But Arizona just holding down the wall right now.
Under 30 seconds to go on the jam clock here. And about 13 minutes to go until the end of this bout. Scoring pass completed by Castrator. And as the clock expires on the jam, Castrator trying to finish off one more scoring pass. And a skater briefly down on the track for Arizona. Tampa skater helping her up to her skates and getting her back around the corner with a pat on the back. So we will set up for the next jam. It's going to be West Coast Mafia for Arizona. West Coast Mafia through the pack. West Coast Mafia to the front of the pack again for Arizona, now looking for another scoring pass. Felony Fat Bottom able to get through the pack for Tampa. After a much defensive struggle, West Coast Mafia calling off the jam before surrendering any points to West Coast Mafia. And again, West Coast Mafia stopping to help up one of the Arizona players from the ground, Block and Decker. Good sportspersonship all around.
And speaking of sportspersonship, we have some light up trophies over by the merch table. You can vote for your favorite blocker or jammer, as well as officials. So we'd love to get your votes and your input, so please vote at the merch table.
That's right. Determination of the conclusion of tournament awards are from you, the fans, so make sure to get over to the merch table and drop off your votes for best jammer, best blocker, best official, best non-skating official. This jam continues. Sneaking around the outside of the pack is Loose Chaos to take lead jammer for Arizona.
And it looks like it's an attempted star pass. Oh, and a successful star pass to break some bones for TAMPA.
Loose Chaos, meanwhile, finishing off a scoring pass along the inside of the track. Break some bones trying to get through that solid three wall of defenders for Arizona as Loose Chaos sliding along and trying to finish another scoring pass along the inside of the track. Just under 10 minutes to go here in regulation, and taking over as jammer officially and putting that star cover on is Breaks and Bones for TAMPA. And the clock expires on the jam. Or excuse me, I believe it was called off. Looks like the jammer for Arizona is going to be Stashbot 5000. And up the front of the pack, there goes Stashbot, lead jammer for Arizona. And driving to the front of the pack is PH Diesel for TAMPA. And that'll cause the jam to be called.
And we're almost out of beer, which is sad for some folks, but if you are looking to drink your feelings today, please go up to the front to go get some beer, because it's almost gone.
Do you know where they have more beer? They have more beer at the after parties, with an S on the end, after parties indeed. The official after party, the first after party, is at Angel's Trumpet Ale House Arcadia, so not Ale House Downtown, where there is no parking. Rather, it's Ale House Arcadia, where there is lots of parking. So that's the official after-party location, and then after the after-party, we move to Boycott, which is a bar on 7th Avenue, just north of Indian School. You would think I'd know where it is. I live like 30 seconds from there. At any rate, so the first after-party is going to happen at Angel's Trumpet Ale House Arcadia. It's on 44th Street and between Thomas and Oak, right there by the Costco. Ask an Arizona skater if you're not sure how to get there, and then the after party moves to Boycott after that. And word of the wise, Boycott is located next to the best Filiberto's in the valley. Fight me. So that's the truth, though. That Filiberto's on 7th Avenue is the real deal. We have an official review here, signal from the referees on the track. Official review has been requested by TAMPA. I'm talking quieter because you're quieter. But she turned those up, and like you can hear us every time we bump the mic. You can hear it. I'm like, nah, it's too high up. So I just turned down a little bit. Yeah, and I'm guilty of like modifying myself to talk on the mic. Like I'll talk as quiet as I need to blend in with like whoever I'm talking with, you know. So she keeps turning me up, and I just keep talking quieter. So. right, with that Hakuliian explanation as our head referee, Harley Quinn Davidson, letting us know that after the review, the no call stands, no penalty assessed, no power jam to start this thing off for Tampa. Score right now 213-63.
And Castrator is out for Arizona against, let's see. Whoa. Against Felony Fat Bottom for Tampa, and she is out for lead jammer.
Felony Fat Bottom, a little bit of fancy skate work there, finishing off that exit from the pack, and now trying to fight her way to the front of the pack, taking a tumble, but bouncing right back up as Castrator zips past that last defender and is going to put the heat on now. Felony Fat Bottom making her way back around the turn to a cheer from the Tampa supporters in the crowd. I hear a whistle, and that whistle is for an official challenge. So now Arizona will lodge an official challenge. So we'll step back from the action one more time. All right, we will have no further official reviews. Both teams have lost their official review for the second half in successive jams. So the no call stands one more time from Harley Quinn Davidson. We will proceed with the action now.
And as a correction, our head ref is actually Carmen Dragon.
are. My apologies for misidentifying the head ref multiple times during that last review process. And our next jam here is underway at Slamwich for Tampa, trying to find an opening. Going down to the inside, but racing along the inside also is Lose Chaos, right to the front of the pack, and is the lead jammer for Arizona.
And Slamwich just stuck behind that Arizona wall. But Lose Chaos getting recycled back.
Lose Chaos is recycled back to nearly to the front of the front straightaway, as Slamwich now free of the pack for Tampa. So Lose Chaos finishing off a scoring pass and calls it off.
And we've got Felony Fat Bottom up against Stashbot.
And Stashbot
out for lead jammer.
Felony Fat Bottom now back on the track, recycled back to the jammer line. And able to exit the pack is Felony Fat Bottom. Stashbot up ahead, and lead jammer for Arizona looking behind is going to try to put a couple more points on the board before calling off the jam. And just as that jam got underway, we have an official timeout called at the back of the pack.
It's excitement all around. Reconvened. So on the jammer line, it looks like it's Castrator up against Crush Groove.
So Castrator able to get by those defenders for Tampa that were all bunched up close to the jammer line, and Castrator's lead jammer for Arizona.
Crush Groove still stuck behind that Arizona wall. Tampa attempting to play some offense. And it looks like the pivot's coming back.
And Crush Groove taking a hard hit there. Went down, kind of had her skates go out from underneath her and hit the ground on her back. Took her a second, but she's back up and on the track now, still trying to fight through that Arizona defense. Still 45 seconds to go on the jam clock. And a penalty on Castrator, so this one's going to go the full 2 minutes. Castrator now heading to the penalty box. And the cheer goes up for Tampa's power jam from the crowd. Dauntless.
And Crush Groove still has the star in their hand, but the pivot keeps looking that way. It looks like Rojo Grande now has the star for Tampa and gets past that Arizona wall.
And that will do it. The clock expires on the jam. And it looks like we have a team timeout. Team timeout called by Tampa? No.
Sure.
Arizona? I literally can't tell which way she's pointing. That's how bad my eyesight is. I can't see that far.
Look at Tampa's outfits, though. They're just so cute.
So back to the action from the team timeout. West Coast Mafia is going to be stepping up to the jammer line for Arizona. Looks like the Dallas jammer is, that looks like the Tampa jammer is Slamwich. And it's not. The Tampa jammer is PH Diesel. And PH Diesel gets hung up behind a couple of blockers for Arizona and calls off the jam before West Coast Mafia can make contact with the pack. And now a team timeout taken. So we're ready to get back underway here. Coming up on 2 minutes to go in regulation as we hit that exactly. Loose Chaos is your lead jammer for Arizona. Felony Fat Bottom is at the front of the pack for Tampa and is trying to find a way through, able to find a way around that last blocker. And that's going to do it for the jam. Felony Fat Bottom trying to pick some points up. And we have another team timeout.
it looks like Slamwich is out for Tampa as the lead jammer. Castrator right behind. And they call that jam off. Getting 1 point. Got West Coast Mafia out as the lead jammer, and PH Diesel is jamming for Tampa. And Don't Blink actually hits out PH Diesel, causing them to recycle back. Both jammers just look exhausted out there. Looks like the star has been passed to the pivot. I believe that's Breaks and Bones, number 83. And the Tampa jammer is out. Looks like Arizona's just running it. Oh, nope, calling it.
That's going to bring the action to a close for the bout. West Coast Mafia calling off that final jam. We'll wait for the final points to be tallied and put up on the board. But as of right now, awaiting final confirmation, it looks like your final score is going to be Arizona 256 and Tampa 72 in this battle of A squads. We will step aside very briefly. It'll be about 20 minutes all told until the beginning of the next bout, more than likely, as these teams have to warm up. We're going to be looking at Dos por Cuatro versus Dallas. Our final pairing of A squads, our final WIFTDA sanctioned bout. And as I said, it'll be starting in about 20 minutes from right now.